My dear members, I hope this video finds you all and your families in good health and high spirit to celebrate the Passover holiday despite the calamities we are witnessing every day. Great Rabbanim and Roshei Yeshiva have unfortunately succumbed to this deadly virus. Several Jewish families are being saddened by the loss of a loved one. What hurts us the most, and what saddens all of us collectively, is that the government recommended social distancing, which we must accept and observe, runs against our daily practices. Prayers require a minyan of 10 people. A brit milah requires 10 people. A wedding requires 10 people in the chuppah. In our Amidah, we beseech Hashem always in plural. Selach lanu avinu ki chatanu. Not selach li, selach lanu. Refa'enu, heal us all, not me. Everything is plural. Our religion encourages unity and togetherness. Also, the Passover holiday is especially famous for getting the entire family together. In the past, I have seen families celebrating with as many as 50 people, and in some cases, even more together. That's beautiful. We should fulfill the mitzvah of Sipur Yetziat Mitzrayim by relating the story to our children and grandchildren. Unfortunately, this year, grandparents are being isolated from their children and grandchildren, and they are forced to conduct the Seder on their own. There is no question that this is a gezerah from the Almighty. Why now? We don't know how Hashem runs the world. Chazal say that Moshe Rabbeinu asked Hashem, why is it that tzaddik veralo, rasha v'tovlo? Why is it that some righteous people actually have it badly and some wicked people have it very good? As far as we know, Moshe Rabbeinu did not get an answer. And if he did, he surely did not tell us about it. But we do know Hashem always acts with justice and rightfulness. Hatzur tamim pa'olo, kekol derachav mishpat. The work of the Almighty is upright, and His ways are done with justice. Shuls are closed. Perhaps, just perhaps Hashem is angry at us because we don't give proper honor to the synagogue. We all love our shul. We all love our prayers. We all love the classes from our rabbis. But it is not uncommon for people in many synagogues to engage in lengthy conversation during the prayers. This is a serious and grave mistake which continues on without no resolution. It is as if Hashem is saying to us, if you are not going to respect my house of worship, I'm going to close it on you altogether. Baruch Hashem, at least our yeshivot were always doing well, educating hundreds of thousands of children worldwide. They may be closed now, but at least Hashem did give us a way out with classes online. There's no lack of shiurim online. Unfortunately, for shuls and family seders, there is no substitute. Yet, and this is what I would like to emphasize today, we must not despair. We must not give up hope. Individual prayers, when recited in a sincere manner, are accepted by the Borei Olam. And when millions of Jews pray individually, their prayers eventually will reach our Creator together, and Hashem will surely respond favorably. In the beginning of the book of Shemuel 1, Hannah Tzaddiket went to the Bet HaMikdash and prayed by herself to Hashem with great kavanah, an outpouring of the heart. and her prayer was accepted. The next year, she gave birth to one of our greatest prophets, Shemuel HaNavi. Many prophets and kings prayed on their own, and Hashem responded to their cries. I am confident that Hashem will listen to our individual and at the same time collective prayers, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will soon remove this plague from our midst. As to the lonely seder, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as it is done properly and sincerely. The saintly Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, always celebrated his seder in his home with his wife only. Remember, because of his fame and great scholarship, he could easily have 100 people around his table. He didn't think it was necessary. And listen to this. When his wife passed away, that same year, he celebrated the Seder alone. So this year, we can follow the path of the saintly Rebbe and still celebrate the Seder with excitement and joy. Now, I would like to say a short Dvar Torah, which perhaps you could repeat over to your family during the Seder. As we all know, Hashem sent 10 plagues against Mitzrayim, Egypt, in order to force Pharaoh to let the Bnei Israel go out of Egypt, and eventually to settle in Eretz Israel. How were the plagues brought upon Egypt? Each plague lasted 1 week, and the next 3 weeks there was rest, no plague. And this cycle repeated itself for each plague. Now, if the only reason for the plagues is to get the Bnei Israel out, let Hashem bring upon the Egyptians one extended plague and leave it on for a while longer than usual until the Egyptians can't take it anymore and they will give up. For example, let's take Barad, hail, where Hashem rains rain and boulders and ice on Egypt instead of 1 week. Let's say Hashem will make it 1 month or 2 months even. No one can go outside. No one can go to the grocery store and buy food. No one can even go outside to relieve themselves. Because if they go out, there's a very good chance they won't be able to get back home. How long can they hold on in that situation? Not long. So why Hashem hit them with 10 plagues? Well, let's look at the reasons behind them. Reason number 1 is what we mentioned before, to punish Paro and force him to let the Bnei Israel out. But there's another reason which is also very important, and that is to impress upon the minds of the Bnei Israel about the immense power of Hashem, while hitting the Egyptians, and at the same time, the Bnei Israel were spared from any harm. This way, the Bnei Israel will learn the lesson as they watch the Egyptians suffering and nothing is happening to them. There's a story about a child who was very unruly in the classroom. Really, it disturbed the whole lesson. The teacher couldn't take it. He wanted to hit him and teach him a lesson so he should be quiet. But the mother of the child came to the teacher and said to him, please, he's a very delicate boy. You cannot hit him. He just can't take it. So the teacher said, what should I do? He's very unruly. Oh, very simple. Let him sit next to another child who's unruly. And when you do hit the other one, he will look at that and he will learn his lesson and he'll be okay. That's what Hashem did with the Egyptians. He hid them while the Bnei Israel were watching, and they learned the lesson. They learned about the power of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Like we say in Arabit, האל העושה לנו ניסים ונקמה בפרעה. HaKadosh Baruch Hu did nisim for us, but the nekama, that was for Paro. So Hashem could have brought one long plague, and it would have worked. But Hashem also had something else in mind, to show the Bnei Israel how he controls every segment of the world. Had he given one plague, Barad, that means that Hashem can control only the hails and the rains. But Hashem wanted to show the Bnei Israel he controls everything. Dam, that was on the rivers. Hashem controls the rivers and the seas in the world. Sephardia, Hashem controls even the little creeping animals. Kinim, Hashem controls the tiny insects. Arov controls over large animals. Hashem can order them to go anywhere. Debe controls life of the animals, and he can hit them with Debe, with a plague or a pest. Shehin, Hashem controls illnesses among humans. Barad, Hashem controls the weather. He can bring rain, storm, hail, snow, ice, winds. Arbe, Hashem has control over the flying birds. He can bring all millions of different kind of locusts, and at one point he can just make them disappear. Hoshech, Hashem controls time, light and darkness, day and night. And finally, the worst of all, Makat Bechorot, Hashem has control over the life of humans. Yes, the Bechorot, as far as we know, supposedly for the Egyptians they were Kadosh. So sort of like they were serving their God. They dedicated their life to God. Hashem wants to show the Egyptians, these people, these human beings that you think are the ones that serve God, they cannot do anything. They cannot even save themselves. But this greatly increased emunah of the Bnei Israel in Hashem. And eventually, the Bnei Israel will accept the Torah and its mitzvot. As we read the Haggadah and the story of Pesach this coming Wednesday and Thursday nights, let us sincerely recognize the greatness of Hashem and how He has special love for His Am Segula, where no plague touched His cherished nation at that time. And just as Hashem protected His nation from all those plagues on Egypt, may He protect us and the whole world and remove this horrible virus plague quickly and bring us our Mashiach Tzidkenu b'mehera b'yameinu. Amen.